And it's also why cap rates on apartment properties are the lowest of any property type. It's also why you'll see in a moment the highest cap rates are on the office market, because the office market essentially feeds off of jobs, and job recovery has been only half of what we lost. And so greatest risk in the durability of the income stream in office properties, and it is that durability and quality of the income stream that determines your cap rate, and the greatest confidence among investors that apartment rental income is durable, is sustainable, and will rise at a minimum equal to the rate of inflation going forward. And so if you're not worried about inflationary effects, you're willing to take a small cap rate, a small return rate. Office, it's all about the jobs. And the fact that we're only halfway recovered, that the recovery has been so slow, is the reason why the office sector is the weakest of all of the sectors out there. We've had a lot of corporate mergers and downsizing as part of this economy. That eliminates office demand. Particularly here in the state of New Jersey, we've had pharmaceutical mergers, which are essentially 2-for-1 deals. One pharma company absorbs another, cuts the workforce, but keeps the top-line sales revenues with a smaller workforce. Translation, increases NOI, your income at the bottom. And so all of that has reduced office demand. There was just an announcement last week, pretty stunning. Merck is closing its corporate headquarters in Hunterdon County and moving everybody to Summit. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Merck, White House Station, Hunterdon County, is going to lose thousands of jobs that are all moving to Summit within the next couple of years. What a dramatic change that's going to be. And that's an example of what are they doing? Here's an example. They acquired Shearing Plough in a merger. They're going into Shearing Plough's old headquarters 2-for-1. You don't need all that space. You don't need all those employees. That's the efficiencies that mergers are essentially going after. The fact that government is getting smaller is reducing demand for office space. Our tax rates and labor rates are non-competitive in the world. That creates offshoring. Profits, remember, in the 1980 presidential election, no. Let me think. 80 was Reagan. I have that right? 80 was Reagan. 84 was Reagan's re-election. 88, Ross Perot. 92? Okay. 80 to 88. Oh, right, because after that we had one term of George Bush Sr., which got us to 92. 92, Clinton ran for election against George Bush, the senior, and Ross Perot. And Ross Perot said at the time, and we all kind of thought he was a little crazy, right, because of the way he spoke. But boy, was he right. He said, and I'm going to paraphrase, at the time they were talking about NAFTA. And NAFTA was a North American Free Trade Agreement. And essentially what it did was it created incentives. It removed the penalties and created incentives for American corporations to move jobs to places like Mexico or Canada. And what we were doing back then, the reason we wanted it was that we wanted places around the world to open up their market to our products. The idea was that if we can get a deal with Mexico on NAFTA, and we're able to move jobs there, that the hook was, but you have to allow us to sell our products there without any tariffs. And we thought that we were just going to expand our market share to no end. What it ended up doing, and here's what Ross Perot said in that debate, I'll never forget it. He said, if you continue on this path, that giant sucking sound you'll hear next will be the sound of jobs leaving America and going to places where labor rates and tax rates are lower. Boy, was he right. But he was a businessman, so he got that. He was a businessman first. And so we're seeing a massive amount of jobs, millions of jobs that have left our economy. And then we have these higher efficiencies and densities. What does that mean? I know somebody who works for a major pharmaceutical company, and in her department, 2 out of every 3 people lost their job as a result of the merger. And you know what she said to me? She said, I just wish I was one of them, because I'm doing the job of 3 people today. Which means you need less office space. And so we've gone from 200 square foot per employee 10 years ago to 100 square feet per employee in office space, because technology basically allows you to be an octopus as a worker and be able to multitask to the point of exhaustion. That's why technology can sometimes be an enemy to job creation, because technology's primary goal is to put people out of work. And here we get to see it. Here's a slide, and here we're tracking the number of the ratio between the number of U.S. workers to gross domestic product. And you can see that the dollars of economic output per employee has grown because there's fewer employees doing more. And that's another trend that we're going to need to deal with over the long term. Vacancy rates, look how gradual that decline is. Nothing like what we've seen in the apartment market, where it's a sharp decline. Net absorption has been positive, but only marginally so. And we are seeing some rental price growth in the national office markets, but it's on a scale of 1%, 2%, 3% annualized, very, very low, indicative of a weak demand scenario. And the property value index today for commercial property is that generally we are, instead of being at 160 today in the apartment market, we're somewhere around 120 today, which means that property values are up 20% from 2000, not as much as we have in the apartment market. Here's what I want you to pick up here. The blue line is Central Business District office price index. The green line is suburban office. There is a major transformation that's taking place, and Merck going from White House Station in Hunterdon County, if you're not from New Jersey, rural, to Summit, which is an inner ring suburb with train connectivity to Manhattan, with a walkable downtown type of a setting. That is a national trend. Companies are getting out of, they're leaving as fast as they can those corporate campus-style headquarters out on an interstate highway built on 600 acres, where it looks like a college campus. They're running away from those as fast as they can, and we'll talk about why later. And that's why Central Business District, downtown, near airports, near rail, walkable settings, are seeing a sharp increase in demand and prices. Jersey City would be the example of that here in New Jersey, as compared to what we're seeing in Parsippany. As compared to what's happening in the apartment market, in the suburban office market, where today's index is at 105% of where it was back in 2000, much different scenario. Retail market, and we're sort of, I need a time check here. Are we going to be able to go past 10? Because we're, so what do we shoot? Another 15 minutes maybe? Okay, we're going to keep flying here. We're into the retail sector here. The retail sector is doing better. It's doing better than office. It's not doing as well as warehousing or the multifamily apartments because, as you might expect, in a recession, people spend less on discretionary purchases, and that's what retail feeds off of. There's a whole lot of things that are going on in the retail market. We've had closings. We've had mergers. And all of that reduces demand for commercial retail space, shopping center space. You see all the dark spaces in the areas where you have your retail spaces. And certainly mergers and closings are a part of that. The demise of the music, record, tape, CD, video industry, where it's all gone to big box now or online, all of that has played out. We overbuilt it back during the credit bubble. If you take a look at the construction pace of retail space in America, retail construction continued to rise and accelerate for 2.5 years after the recession began. We continued to build it. Why? Because once you get your AD&C funding, once you get the money from the bank for your acquisition, development, and construction, you're going to build it because you've already bought your land, you're already hooked in, and you hope, cross your fingers, that by the time you're ready to rent up, there will be a market. Didn't work out well.